Hey guys! Today I'm going to be talking all about the fragrances that I will be wearing this fall. Fall is one of my favorite times of year, and scents that work in the fall are some of my favorite scents. I love warm, cozy, sweet scents, and I hope that you like the scents that I've chosen to wear during this season. The first scent I want to talk about is from Erin. This is Tangier Vanille. And I love this scent on its own, but I particularly enjoy it layering. I think that this vanilla scent is so interesting, and like I said, it works well on its own, but I think it really adds something special when I wear it with other fragrances. I typically tend to layer this with fragrances that aren't super sweet, or where the vanilla, if there's any vanilla in it, it's in the background. It isn't really as noticeable as I'd like it to be. I love this bottle. I think it's so pretty standing out, and it honestly just looks like it belongs in a fall collection, doesn't it? I get really good longevity and sillage out of this, considering it's part of the Erin line, which typically doesn't get good longevity or sillage, and I find that when I layer it, it's even better. This next scent I talked about in last year's fall picks, and of course it had to make a comeback because it's really also perfect for fall. This is Jean Paul Gaultier's Classique Essence de Parfum, and it's orange blossom and vanilla, and I smell something like resinous, maybe ambery, but it's not listed in the notes. I think benzoin might be. But it's really warm and comforting. This to me is a cozy sweater or a nice warm blanket. I love it. It's so great on cold days. It reminds me of falling leaves, walking around outside where you feel warm, but any skin that's out, like exposed, gets a little wind. I don't know, it just is like such a fall scent to me. This is honestly what I call my rainy day fragrance because it just works so well in the rain. I love it in the springtime too, but I think it really shines in the fall. This gets great longevity and sillage for me. In fact, the sillage, in my opinion, is one of the best from Jean Paul Gaultier at all, like across all of his lines. This is definitely, people can smell me from across the room. This next fragrance is also, to me, perfectly fall. It is from Giorgio Armani. This is C Eau de Parfum. I had a hard time beginning to love this fragrance because the longevity on me really disappointed me, and so I never chose to wear it. It was sort of like a last minute begrudgingly, hesitatingly wear. But I've really fallen in love with it. I just put more on, and I find that it lasts really well if I moisturize first. But it's like spicy and warm and vanilla. I think there's black currant in this. There's like a little bit of fruitiness. I can't quite pick it out. I think it's black currant. To me, it's not similar in smell to Livia Belle. There are some similarities. They feel like they could be sisters, and this would be Livia Belle's younger sister. This to me is just very vibrant and a little alluring. I wouldn't necessarily call her loud, but it might just be because for whatever reason on me, it just doesn't project, or I don't get a ton of longevity, or I definitely don't get as much as I would prefer. But I think for fall, C is just an easy choice to make. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I love sweet scents, and I don't just love sweet scents, I really love scents that are sweet and interesting, and I think this next one is both of those things. This is from Mariah Carey. This is called M, and this is Smoky Marshmallows. I had never heard of this fragrance until a friend sent me a mini of it, and honestly, first sniff, I was head over heels in love with this. This is marshmallows, but it's so much more grown up because of the smoke. And it isn't incensey. I'm not a huge fan of incense. This is very much like campfire smoke. I don't know, it just smells like a grown-up marshmallow. Oh, I really love this. I think this one would also be really great for layering because it isn't super complex. It's really interesting. I think it's really nice on its own, but I'm going to try to layer it this fall just to see what I think. The longevity and sillage are okay. It is a celebrity scent. I think that on clothes, it lasts a decent amount of time, but you definitely have to really bury your nose in to smell it. And as for sillage, I mean, people can smell me for the first 3 hours, which is fine for me. This next one I talked about in my last year's video as well. That is from Guerlain. This is Shalimar Souffle de Parfum. This is a fluffy orange blossom, citrus, vanilla, and musk. And it has taken me quite a while to actually pick the musk out, but now I totally get the musk and I love it. It is a very soft and fluffy musk. It doesn't smell like body odor, it doesn't smell like an animal, and it doesn't really smell clean either though. But to me, this is like a thick, soft cashmere sweater or a really soft blanket, like a chenille blanket. It's just so easy to wear, in my opinion. It isn't overly sweet, never gets cloying. Even if I put it on in like a cold morning and it warms up, I'm never like, oh, this was too much, I shouldn't have worn this. It's always perfect. I think this is one of those fragrances that works really well year round, but I think it really shines in those transition seasons like spring and fall. The longevity and the sillage on this are great. I love Guerlain fragrances partially for that reason. There's only a few, really like their Aqua Allegoria line, that don't have great longevity and sillage, but this one for me lasts a full day's wear. My fall scents list would not be complete without a jammy rose. Jammy rose, like a candied rose or a fruity rose, those are some of my favorite roses to wear. I was obsessed with them last year. They were I bought like a whole bunch of jammy roses. And last year in my fall video, I talked about Tresor Midnight Rose from Lancome. And this year, my jammy rose of choice is from Nina Ricci. This is called L'Extase. This is truly a delicious jammy rose. This one can absolutely get really cloying in the heat, so I do not recommend wearing this on days that you think it will get warmer during the day. This is very much a cold day, cold evening scent. I think that this smells a little less synthetic than Midnight Rose. Midnight Rose smells really good and it does smell like a really fresh, juicy raspberry, but this one is like a little bit darker and a little bit more syrupy and thick than Midnight Rose. Midnight Rose to me is like a more bright jammy rose. I only wear this on cooler days because, like I said, it can get really cloying. But when I wear this, oh my gosh, I get so many compliments. I think this is one of the first fragrances that I ever got compliments on. I'm trying to remember. I feel like the compliments from this, I was like, oh, I need to start wearing more perfumes that get me compliments just because it feels so nice. The longevity on this is okay. I get 6 to 8 hours and the sillage is really great. People can smell me that whole time. And it doesn't even really turn into a skin scent. I feel like it just sort of disappears at the end of its run. But if you are looking for a nice jammy rose, and if Midnight Rose was not for you, I really highly suggest trying L'Extase. Typically when I think of fall scents, I think of vanilla, amber, woods, more warm scents like that, spices. But I think fruity scents do really well in the fall, particularly if they are interesting. And this scent from Dior, this is Poison Girl Unexpected. This is a fruity scent that is extremely interesting. I love the Poison Girl range. I bought the Eau de Parfum, and then after that I had to have the Eau de Toilette, and then I got a sample of Unexpected, and then I had to have this one. Unexpected is different from Eau de Parfum and Eau de Toilette Poison Girls in that it has ginger, so it smells a little spicy on top of the fruitiness. It is a little bit darker, but it isn't a nighttime perfume per se. I feel like this would work really well during the day. It's just interesting. The ginger is really sharp and spicy, and I think it works so well with like the softness of the fruits and the vanilla that the rest of this is made of. The sillage and longevity are great. I get 8 hours. The sillage is okay. I think it performs a lot better in the beginning, and really once the ginger wears off, I mean, it's not really projecting itself anymore, but if you're just looking for something interesting to wear that's fruity for the fall, I think this is your best bet. One of my more recent obsessions has been the note of tuberose. And I recently picked up L'Interdit from Givenchy. This is their newest formulation of L'Interdit. Oh my God, I am obsessed with this. When I first tried it, I thought I hated it. It smelled to me like the original chapstick, and I hate the original chapstick. And I was like, oh, I'm getting rid of this. I do not love this. No, never mind, not for me. But I've been wearing it and I love it. The tuberose is so good in this. Oh, it's amazing. This to me is a very polished and put together fragrance. This smells clean, classy, have your shit together. That's this kind of woman. She is like fully manicured. Her outfit and jewelry and everything is on point. And then her perfume is too. This smells so, so good. Typically, I don't gravitate to those kinds of scents, the very polished and put together scents, but this one I feel like is just a little like out of place enough that it works for me. And I have really only worn it in warmer weather. I'm excited to try it in cooler weather because I think this is going to be even better in cooler months. I find myself reaching more for cozy, comforting, softer scents in the fall, and this one is no exception. This is Manifesto Elixir from Yves Saint Laurent. This is a vanilla cashmere heliotrope perfume. It is soft and sweet and powdery. It's not too sweet, it's not too powdery, and the powder is like powdered sugar versus baby powder or cosmetic powder. Maybe a little bit of like that baby powder vibe, but it's definitely not too much. Like I don't think it would give anybody flashbacks if they'd ever changed a diaper. I love this because it is so soft and sweet. This really is perfect for days when you just want to chill or you really are not trying very hard, but you want to smell good. I think this one is really nice for layering as well. It's still simple without being boring. It is definitely not a pure vanilla. The heliotrope and the cashmere come in just as heavy as the vanilla. The longevity and sillage I get are good. I wouldn't say this lasts longer than 8 hours on me. The sillage is really great considering that I only get about 8 hours, but this is one of those fragrances that I really tend to wear more when I don't have anything to do. I don't have anything going on, and so if I want to reapply, I can. This is another scent that is fairly new to my collection. It is from Lancome. It is Oud Bouquet. This is the original release that was released in 2014. I got a sample of this. I fell head over heels for it, but by the time I got it, I don't think this was still available. I think they had moved on to their newer formulation, which I have not smelled. And I got a chance to get my hands on this. Of course, I scooped it up. It smells incredible. I get a lot of oud from this. I know that's something that a lot of people actually complain about, is that they can't smell the oud in this. I smell it just fine. But the rest of the composition is rose and praline. Oh my God. If you are just sort of getting into oud and you really like sweet scents, this might be a great option for you if you can find it. The longevity and the sillage are insane. This is like nuclear. It lasts forever and everyone can smell you. It's so good. I think this would work equally well on a man. I adore this fragrance. I am so excited for the weather to be cooling down so that I can finally start to wear this. And I think, honestly, I'm going to be wearing this even through the winter. This next scent is one that I wore a ton last fall and winter. It's from Lancome. It's called Livia Belle L'Eau de Parfum Intense. This is Livia Belle and hazelnut. It is so good. I highly recommend it to anybody who loves Livia Belle, or if you love hazelnuts. I think that Livia Belle can smell, to some people I think it can smell a little too sweet, a little cold because of the iris, although I find it incredibly warm. The hazelnuts in this dial down the sweetness just a little bit and make it even warmer. The nuttiness of it is like mouth-watering. It's so good. I get a ton of compliments from this one as well. I think because Livia Belle is so well known, it's so recognizable for some people or for most people, but this is like a different version of it, and so people recognize it, but it smells different and they're like, oh, you're like triggering me like some nostalgia or some recognition, but also I don't recognize it fully. So I think that's one of the reasons I get the most compliments on it. It is great sillage, great longevity. What else do I want to say about it? I mean, I absolutely adore this fragrance. I wear this in the winter too because it's just so warm and amazing. The hazelnuts really just smell like the holidays to me, even though this fragrance doesn't smell like a holiday. Like, the nuts just remind me of the holidays. I don't know. But anyway, if you like Livia Belle or if you love hazelnuts, I highly recommend trying this fragrance. Those are the fragrances that I will be wearing this fall. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment down below telling me what fragrances you're excited to wear this fall, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.